everyone, it's me, Justin, and Eddie back again, and this is now 2016, and we're now doing these reviews again. It's been quite a while since you've last seen us, since we did our top 10 best movies and worst movies of the year, so now we're back again this year, and this time we've missed quite some movies, but we're trying to get in the habit of, we're going to eventually get in the habit
Got
of...
a lot of personal...
yeah, we're going to eventually get in the habit of reviewing more movies again, so this is our first movie of the year, which is Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now, before we go into the movie, I just want to give my brief thoughts on how I felt about Man of Steel. I really liked Man of Steel. I thought it was a good reinterpretation of the character Superman. I liked that they brought back I thought it was cool that we saw a nice change to Superman, where he was more of a vulnerable kind of guy. And
I like the origin that they built up. They did it right. I thought I thought that it was really good to go with the origin at first and build it up, because I always like a step and 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 a step. So I thought it was really good. I know this movie kind of got it was really praised, but it also got
a lot
mixed
of
reviews.
Yeah,
a lot of people were nitpicking it. I really thought it was not a bad movie.
No,
it was
it was a good
I thought it was
start.
underrated. I thought people were overreacting.
Yeah. I mean, I will admit, when I was growing up, I wasn't the biggest Superman fan. I was always more favorable toward Batman.
I'm a Batman.
I am.
I'm still Batman.
I still respect Superman. You know, I still liked him in the comics. I still liked him in the animated series. So Man of Steel was a good way of reestablishing the character to kind of give him a more realistic sort of factor, if that makes sense. Kind of like they did with the Christopher Nolan Batman films.
Yes.
So it was good that we had a good fresher take on it.
Yeah.
Now, going into Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice, I already knew that they were going to do a sequel to Man of Steel, but at the same time, I didn't realize that they were going to put Batman in it. You know, so because what they originally wanted to do before they did this one, they wanted to do Man of Steel 2, but they decided to kind of get things moving along a lot differently to kind of get the ball going. Because
unlike the Marvel genre, you know, what they're doing, they're kind of really not trying to do trilogies in any of their superheroes. They're trying to get to the point. They're trying to give a superhero movie or two, maybe, but they're pretty much trying to get to the Justice League.
Pretty much, they're doing the backwards approach, where they're doing pretty much their crossovers first, and then kind of getting their other solo movies that are coming out later throughout the years to get some more history with some of the characters, or doing their own kind of stories.
Well, anyway, Batman vs Superman.
I can say going into this film, I did have some hopes for the film. I really wanted it to, kind of keep it open-minded, because look, I already watched the trailers that they had revealed, and much like they did with Terminator Genesis,
they played
really
too much. I think there was between 3 to 5 trailers. We're looking at 3 to 5 minutes of we're getting to the point now. We're getting 3 to 5 minute trailers. This is getting really carried away with the trailers.
See,
they are.
I enjoyed the first teaser they had. It was
not to mention, not even the ones that weren't 3 minutes. I just feel like even the shorter ones, they just revealed. It's like they stuffed all their twists and just put it in the trailer.
We'll get to that later. But anyway, I kind of feel like they should do trailers nowadays, like they do with
the Shallow,
like that, or like Star Wars, where you just give us a teaser. Don't reveal anything that's major important to the plot. Give us something that we kind of get hints about, but don't show it in the trailer.
Do it to draw your crowd too, but don't. Man, it's a lot. It was too much.
It was too much. But
as I said, a lot of people told me, well, maybe Zack Snyder will do something different. Surprises. It went verbatim. It did. I told you that too.
It's essentially what you see in the trailer. But at the same time, they only have probably a couple of things that are not from the trailer that are actually kind of cool. But it's really nothing you've seen in the trailer.
Yeah, that's what it's like. But you watch a trailer and then ask. Then go to the movies and watch the last 10 minutes of it. That's all you really need.
Now, for those of you who are watching, this will be very spoiler heavy. So if you do not want to watch some of the parts we talk about, skip ahead or watch another video, because this will contain a lot of spoilers. So going into this film, I really had the hope that, maybe they're just going to flesh some things out. Maybe we're going to get a different movie. Because when I was seeing the reviews, I was like, wait, 29%?
Yeah, I was blown away.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've seen the reviews too for a superhero, let alone probably one of the most anticipated superhero films we were waiting for.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 15 years people have been asking for this film.
It has.
Yeah.
It was in development in the early 2000s, and
Yeah.
they had so many script changes over the years.
Yep.
And at one point, George Miller was supposed to direct, which would have been
Yeah.
interesting. I mean, it was like so much development.
Yeah.
And
it's anticipated, and it was supposed to be one of the jaw-dropping superhero films. So I was expecting this movie, the promotions, everything. I was expecting to go into this. So we get into the story that leaves us at the end of Man vs. Steel. Man of Steel. It starts off at the end.
It starts out exactly how it is.
Yeah.
Okay, now from the very beginning, we see that. Okay, at the very beginning, we're starting to see Bruce Wayne's story.
Yeah.
His origins slightly.
Okay, so I understand we don't need no origins
because we already established that.
established that in like all our films, which is the reason why we need to keep getting rid of Batmans and start them over again. Is the only reason why, and this is why I said, even though we've seen the origin stories, I can get why people feel like Ben Affleck's Batman feels empty without a very good origin, like they did with Man of Steel, because he develops his own Batman and is interesting. I like what he's doing, but he goes in there so empty because he doesn't get an origin story yet.
Okay, well we'll get to that, but what we're saying is the movie has a good start. Like,
it has a great start. I love movies that actually go for like boom, boom, boom like that.
It starts out at the end of Man of Steel with the battle going on with Zod. And so we get into Metropolis where Bruce Wayne is trying to get people out of Wayne Enterprises from being killed. And so what's interesting is that throughout this entire sequence, you're seeing the kind of view that people had from the first movie. Remember how people were complaining about
you can actually I watched Man of Steel the other day because I let somebody to try to, because they didn't see Man of Steel. They kind of felt like empty in this one. I took with me in the theaters. Watch that. You actually get the catch in Man of Steel. You actually see the scenes, and you're like, oh, that's cool because that's in Man of Steel. Yeah,
but also what people had with the first movie was that, and it's very debatable. People believe that Superman didn't save anybody during the raid. That he thought that the audience thought that Superman was pretty much a dick because he didn't save anybody.
Yeah, Well, it kind of builds up to them questioning. That's the whole plot. The second one is
Superman really a god?
Yeah, is he a god? Is he doing what he said he's doing, or is he really fucking us?
Yes. Yeah. And that's when it comes to Bruce Wayne investigating this. He's like, you see the look on his face. He's pissed.
All right, I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say I already knew the Superman was gonna do good because we've already seen Man of Steel. People had the whole Ben Affleck thing, and I'm gonna be one of those I was worried about. But I'm going to say right now, Ben Affleck is Batman, and the way he portrayed that echoing voice that shaking the theaters, I fucking love that.
I will tell you right now, he is one of the best Batmans I've seen in a long time. Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Christian Bale, but I will say that if I'm comparing just as Batman, Ben Affleck nails it. Now, as far as Bruce Wayne, I'm still going to go with Christian Bale. Yeah. But as far as Ben Affleck throws it out of the park.
Yeah, I think he fucking nails it, and I think also I love how we can't really compare Bale with. I wouldn't compare him with him because we're looking at a
more realistic.
No, we're looking at a realistic where they're trying to do more very realistic what could happen in real life. Yeah. Versus a Batman
who's more in the supernatural world.
Supernatural world that's supposed to be equivalent to the original other ones. Yeah. So if I would say as far as the original other ones, I can't really say like I said the original. I can't add Christian Bale.
Right, because I know, I'm just saying from the past movies we've had.
I'm going to say, Ben Affleck nailed it out of the park. He blew me away.
He was he was really intense, too, in a lot of parts.
He was.
And But anyway, so we get into the story where pretty much Batman goes after Superman because he believes that Superman was involved with the people getting killed in Wayne Empires. Yeah. So that's really sets up a good point in the film. Yeah. And it also questions his mortality, whether Superman is really a hero that the people deserve, or if he's really just a vigilante.
Yeah.
Or if he's
I like how I did like him seeing it in 3D. I did like how seeing how Batman was so dark. Yeah. Dark where he's in that corner with those cops. Yeah. He's like
yeah, I love that.
I did like how because they're doing a supernatural world that Batman's that powerful type guy. Yeah. But I enjoyed that. I thought he did brilliant. Of course Superman did brilliant.
I actually like Henry Cavill. Okay, if I was to compare him to the originals, okay, he's not as good as, say, Christopher Reeve, but he's still a good Clark Kent and Superman.
I think he's better than that 2006, dude.
Brandon Routh? Yeah, I don't like Brandon Routh.
Yeah, he was really bad. Yeah. That movie was not good. Yeah.
But anyway, so we get into this other... Okay, here's my biggest thing. The movie is trying to set itself up with so much plot going on. Yeah. Now, my biggest issue with the film is that they got so much plot, which is... They have some snippets here and there that are interesting. At the same time, though, it's still so messy. The script is so convoluted.
So I'm going to get to my problems with the film in a minute. So let's get a little fast. Let's get a fast plot.
Here we have here. We have a plot going on with Superman and Lois Lane discovering these something to do with these bullets that happen in Africa.
Where he saved her, but ended up killing the people. Yeah.
And then you have a plot going on where this mysterious woman, who it's later to be revealed to be Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, is lurking around trying to do her own thing, which you're not really knowing much about her.
She's really very minimum in this film. She's kind of like the equivalent to what they did with Catwoman Rises. Yeah. She kind of just
pops up here.
Pops up. She's not really trying to come up till the very end, where she's like, okay, it's going to take us all.
Yeah. So we have that. We also have, and this is going to be my biggest complaint, I'm going to get this out of the way, we have a plot involving Lex Luthor.
Okay, let me get to alright, I wanted to do my, my ending, where all my problems was, but yeah, let's get to Lex Luthor.
Let's get that out of the way, because
I'm going to say this right now. I already knew from the get-go Jesse was not going to do it, and boy was I right. And was I not only right, I was even... It was even worse than what I even expected. This was probably the worst portrayal for Lex Luthor I've ever seen. It is that bad.
It is.
He is annoying. He's trying to be like Joker.
No, he's trying to remind me of?
No, how about the Joker? Riddler. Yeah, Riddler. I'll say Riddler, yeah. But the guy was just...
He was annoying.
Jesse is... First of all... Lex Luthor, not saying that the guy's musclehead type character, but I think he's still too tiny for the role.
He's not intimidating.
He's not intimidating. I feel like I could fucking slap him around. My kid felt like he could slap him around. Yeah. I mean, the guy is just not that intimidating. And the voice of him was annoying because
all he does is laugh throughout the entire movie.
He basically is fucking up Lex Luthor's character by basically saying, laughing all the entire time, acting like he's going crazy and wanting to create chaos. That reminds me too much like Joker. He's like, yeah, and he's like, that was the senator, so he's doing that. And I'm like, that's not Lex Luthor. That's the first time they've ever portrayed Lex Luthor like that. Yeah. It's never been portrayed like that. Exactly. Not even in the comics.
No, I mean, as far as know about the comics,
yeah, I know, but I know fanboys, and they say you don't act like that. No. I mean, that actually blew people away right there.
Now, okay.
And it was not even, even as a standalone, if you want to do a standalone character of him, it was not entertaining. It was not one,
because, if I could have probably bought it a little bit more, and maybe they might do this in the later films. Okay. Maybe just hear me on this. Yeah. Maybe he's possibly Lex Luthor's son.
I hope, because that's the only thing I'm gonna.
Because remember in the film they do mention that his first name is Alexander. Okay. So perhaps maybe he's Lex Luthor Jr.
Well, hopefully the Jr. was at the end of it. Well, anyways, let's just say right now we don't know that, so we're going as in he is Lex Luthor. Because right now, pretty much they're telling us that is Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
That's it. And I'm not buying it. I'm sorry. I have an issue with that. The only thing I did like, the only thing he did was I like the menacing look he does when he don't talk.
Yeah.
But other than that, the guy is Jesse Eisenberg. I love him. I did like him. I liked him in Now You See Me. I liked him in Social Network. I liked him in Zombieland. I mean, you get it. I like the dude. But he was not right for this role.
No.
This was not his role.
If anything, you know what they should have got? And no, I'm not saying this because he has the look. I'm just saying because he can pull it off.
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah.
That, to me, is how you do Lex Luthor.
Yeah. We'll get to that right here. They could have done Bryan Cranston because, first of all, we have no back history. There's zero back history between him and Superman. And then, two, the motive. There's zero motive.
No.
What is your point? Why do you want to kill him?
No,
because they're Batman and Superman? That's being fucking lazy, right?
Yeah, this is what they do. Lex
Yeah.
Luthor sets up a meeting with Batman and or Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And his whole motive, okay, from what people have pointed out, and this is what I'm guessing. The reason he wants them to get together and fight is because Lex Luthor doesn't believe in God. And so he believes that Superman is the only God that's really known. And so he thinks that a man fighting a god is a lot more worthy.
Well, here's the problem with that. So that's the problem with Hollywood films these days. If that's just plain like religion and politics, I don't want that brought up in films.
No. I'm not saying that's the plot. I'm just saying that's probably a theory.
Other theory, I guess we could say, maybe it will come up, and I'm hoping it will be something, is maybe we could say that he's trying to plan a plot to destroy the world, whatever, but he knows that these two will stop him. Or maybe that would have been a plot. Maybe I'm going to do something later on, like I want to destroy the world or I want to take over the world. I want to do something, but I know that the two people, like Superman and Batman, are going to stop me. So
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The whole and this
maybe
is why.
Here's
what they do.
Plot. He already knew who Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent
were. They don't explain how that happened.
How did you fucking know? First of all, I can understand the Superman thing, but how did you know Batman? No one ever finds out that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, because all he does is, well, I don't like Superman, so I should get Batman to fight him. The only plot point they bring up as to why they fight is because he has Martha Kent captured, and that's why Superman goes after Batman. But that doesn't explain how Batman sets up the fight the same night. Remember that scene where he's ready to fight him, and he's pretty much prepared, not even knowing, even talking to Lex Luthor?
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense. This movie is really messy. It's all over the place.
The editing was
bad because there's some scenes that really go from like, okay, you're in a middle scene, then it cuts out and it goes to a dream sequence with Batman. It's like,
now,
that's
granted,
really the editing didn't make no sense.
Yeah.
So,
now, granted, I do like the dream sequence. It looks visually really good.
I do like the whole black and orange together, which makes it really like Mad Max.
Yeah,
that's what I like. And he's seeing what the future's leading to.
Yeah.
So I do get into that, but I feel like also the dream sequences are very like
they're prolonged.
No, it's not prolonged. It's really just like I just feel like they edited it out of place.
It's like
when they introduce them in the most unedited way.
Well, yeah, because remember the scene where we have the dream sequence where he's in the desert, then he wakes up, and then he sees the Flash coming in from that was supposed to be the Flash. That comes in having a message for him saying he has to find Lois Lane.
Which was played by an Asian dude, right?
No,
or what was that?
No, Ezra Miller.
Okay.
And and then what the weirdest thing is, if that would have been there, that would have been fine. But they cut right there to him waking up again. So I'm like, okay, did you have two dreams in the same one? That didn't make sense.
That didn't make no sense.
It was like Inception, where it was like a dream within a dream.
Didn't he dream Aquaman?
No, it was just the Flash.
The Flash. Okay, yeah.
And Man-Bat.
Yeah. So we continue on with the story. We get to the, it's basically self-explanatory. We don't have to go very detailed. I already knew from the get-go it's going to have Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor does some bad shit. He tries to get them, obviously, to fight. And at the meantime, while I fight, he's preparing Razad's body to turn him into
the Doomsday.
Yeah.
Which, that one,
yeah.
Okay, granted, it was cool doing that plot point, but it would have been a better surprise had they not doing the freaking trailer.
Yeah, the trailer that should not done. Because I'm going to tell you right now, Doomsday popping out as Zod's body, being in Zod's body and become Doomsday, would have been like, holy shit!
Yeah.
That would have been something fucking interesting. That's the problem with these movies in these days. They give us everything.
It's like Terminator.
Like, I'm to the point now, I'm going to just watch the first trailer, and then if you come out with 2, 3, 4, 5, more power to you. You go ahead and do that, but I'm not going to watch them.
No, because that's too much.
Because I'm getting fucking spoiled. But then again, if I do that, then I have friends talk about it on fucking Facebook, so it's like I can't avoid this shit.
Yeah.
I can't.
I mean, okay, but what's also cool, look, I know comic book fans are probably going to disagree on this, but I actually liked the way Doomsday looked.
I did too.
You know?
I did too. I seen people say...
Yeah, we were saying that the Doomsday plot goes where pretty much Lex Luthor wants to use the body of Zod from the first movie. And spoilers for those who didn't watch the first Man of Steel movie. They're using the body of Zod to create the ultimate weapon.
Which is cool because it kind of continued on. You feel the Man of Steel in it.
Yeah. So we have that going on. Then we also have going on the plot with Lois Lane, which, from what I've remember in the movie, that her only real purpose in the movie is she's just there with Superman.
Yeah. Now there's like a lot of speculations and I kind of really asked, but I'm glad she's there because it's part of the series. But a lot of people thought that she was really a character that was really why you're here type thing, and then 2. Her instance where when they're fighting Doomsday, or when Batman vs Superman are fighting, he's fighting Doomsday. Mainly it happened with when they're fighting Doomsday, is he had to cut out to save her. Like fucking kept saving her. I'm like, stop getting yourself into fucking trouble.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they do set up. Okay, before we get into there.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the fight that goes down.
Yeah.
With Batman and Superman. Now, granted, I like this fight. I
love the fight. I love the fight. Don't get me wrong. I love the fight. I couldn't wait for it, and it happened. I was like, yes, I love the fight. I thought it was very short-lived. It was that Batman vs Superman, and we spent most of the time where they're kind of like in their normal forms, or like Bruce Wayne arguing, or they do like a lot of short-lived Batman.
If you were to add the screen times like they have the first scene where they're together at the party.
Yeah, in the party.
Then we have the second scene where he shows up in the Batmobile.
Yeah, and he rips the top off.
That's 2. That's them as Batman and Superman. Then we have the third one where they actually finally meet up. So really, we don't really get scenes.
And we fight. What do you say? 10 minutes?
No, about 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Which most of this fight is cool, but at the same time, it seems a little one-sided because at the same time, Batman's doing most of the beatdown.
Yeah, because he
used the kryptonite.
Yeah, kryptonite. Which, again, they did in their final trailer. It shows where Batman goes. Looked at him like that, and you just know that, okay, he found the kryptonite.
Yeah.
So
now, granted, though, we're not saying that Superman's powerless, because he's not. He does get some punches here and there, and he does like push Superman. You can see he pushes Batman.
Yeah, I think they did that only on the occasion to know that if Superman truly punched Batman, he'd die.
Well, also you do see the damage on the armor.
I did like how his face showed half of Ben Affleck's face.
Yeah,
like it was half his face was ripped off.
Yeah,
I did like that.
Which was cool. But it's also cool seeing him use Look, I'm not against Batman using guns, because I like the whole idea where the kryptonite is actually inside the weapons he's using.
I did like that, and I liked how he was breathing in, he was making him breathe it in.
Yeah.
But I noticed that the kryptonite was also short-lived in his bloodstream.
Well, it was until he was about to use the spear. Because the spear hold the most. Yeah. He's like, I'm about to kill you. It wasn't until Lois Lane popped up where he's like, no. Because this is where people were drawn off.
Yeah.
The part where he says Martha.
Yeah, Martha, yeah.
Because, okay.
They kind of felt like, okay, the word, even though that they both, Martha, that's cool. But a lot of people thought that name alone changed the whole entire dynasty of what these guys are going to do was because of that name.
Yeah. Which I get why Bruce would bring that would happen, because it works in context with the fact that Bruce is remembering his dad said Martha the very last minute when he was dying.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's just that it would have been a lot more. It didn't really serve much of an impact.
Impact to make them like, you know what? Let's team up.
Right.
You don't get that. You don't get that. It's like
it felt a little forced.
It felt forced, but it felt like it was really just boom. All right, throw it out there. Just like throw it out there. Let's hurry, get to the point. Rushed. Rushed is what it felt like.
Now when we actually get to our so we have the plot which involves Batman, Superman having to team up and go after Lex Luthor. Okay. Yeah. So we get to that after they have had their battle.
Yeah.
Now, I will say that there is one scene that I will give Lex Luthor props. Now, I know people have debunked it and people want to say what they want, yada, yada, yada. But I did like the court scene. The scene where Superman
that court scene blew me away. That was awesome. I really love that court scene where, like, you get, like, where he put Grandma's tea.
Yeah.
And the next, everybody's just talking, it's just, like, looking at each other. And next, boom! I did not
see that coming. Look, I know people might see it more predictable because, like, well, I knew it was coming because they did mention earlier that dialogue. But for me, because because I didn't really understand what the term actually meant, it actually worked a lot better for the impact. Yeah. Because it got me, I'm like, oh, shit.
That was probably the only Lex Luthor part I was blown away at. Now we get to the part where he's, like, in jail. Like, oh, my God, this is where it gets horrible because you just see Batman just slapping around. Like, how are we supposed to make the guy who's... Doomsday is just a guy he creates. Lex Luthor is considered the main villain.
Yeah.
Why is he so fucking tiny? He's so... You gotta think, Lex Luthor and Joker are supposed to meet.
They are.
In the future.
In a future.
How are we gonna really like their dialogue together? Like,
it's gonna be like this. It's like, hey, Joker, can you help me take down Superman? And then Joker's like, well, I got my plan a lot better.
See,
can you just see the similarities?
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense.
I've seen off of what I've watched is Lex Luthor's more like a straight guy. Like, he's straightforward.
He's more of a business.
He's not a lifer. He's not a laughing matter guy type guy. While Joker's in the background laughing and making jokes about everything.
The only way that could even make sense if Joker happened to be Lex Luthor. That's the only way. No, I'm just saying if he was Lex Luthor in disguise.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, I'm really disappointed in Lex Luthor altogether. I think this is worse.
Horrible.
Yeah, he was horrible. I give that him playing Lex Luthor F.
He pretty much brought the movie down a lot for me.
That's the thing. That's why this movie is so mixed with me because Lex Luthor's main plot he fucked up. Yeah. And now this fucked up, like, a lot of the fucking motives of the movie. It fucks a lot of the formula of the movie.
Yeah.
Everything is screwed up in the film.
For the other things that we actually get to, so let's get to the final plot.
Yes.
The final plot involves Batman and Superman going after Lex Luthor's plan to have pretty much Martha Kent on a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
They had to save her.
Yeah.
Which is a cool action scene because you finally get to see Batman actually drive you seen the trailer when he breaks into the warehouse and he's doing flips and shit.
Yeah, I do like the fights.
I love that fight scene.
I love those fight scenes, and I love how Batman gets to use his other suits finally. We get to see them all. We get all the Batmobile, which I like the Batmobile.
I do too.
I did like it.
I like that. It was kind of like the one from the Nolan films, but at the same
time, it was mixed with the first one.
It was.
Yeah. I told you about that, which was really cool. I thought that was. It was cool,
but it's more of a modern kind of war kind of vehicle,
which is believable. And then I did like the Batmobile, the airplane, Batplane.
Watch your foot.
Yeah. Now, here's another thing I really thought they did bad, and I'm going to bitch about this. Not the guy who played it, but I do got to bitch how they wrote him. I was really kind of turned off how Alfred was kind of like a badass type guy. Where he kind of I didn't say the character's bad. I didn't say the actor's bad. It's the character because he's kind of playing like Lucius Fox kind of guy.
He is, but at the same time, I can buy that with this Alfred because this Alfred has been through the years with Batman.
Okay, maybe he wore himself off. Okay, changed my perspective on that. Now that you mention it. years of wearing off as the butler.
Yeah,
into
and he's actually going alongside Batman's
and you
plan.
can kind of see why he's kind of like bitchy about everything.
Yeah,
because he's tired of doing what he's doing. Because
that's what I'm saying. We have more experienced Batman.
Okay,
because
but
he's been in the force for 20 years.
In my defense, though, he was a very short-lived character.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what they're probably not giving us because there's going to be a longer cut of the film that's going to be 30 minutes longer for the scenes that didn't make it because of pacing issues.
Okay, what do you feel about
because of time issues.
What do you feel about stuff that's stuffed in this film that is guaranteed that you will not find a conclusion until they make movies later on? Like, for instance, the Robin, the joke's on you.
That will be explained possibly more in the Justice League film.
Do you like how they revealed it now, or do you wish they would have?
That's a good nod. I like that. It was very subtle.
It's going to make you wait?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm actually down for that. Now, the things that I hope they explain in the longer cut is the motivation of why they exactly have their actual confrontation.
I want to know all the motivations, because the motivations in this film is really not strong in my eyes. Yeah.
Like, okay, I get what Batman's doing, and you get kind of what Superman's doing too, but you don't get exactly why they actually want to actually come together and are rivals at first.
Yeah.
Now I get, and also they need a better explanation of why they actually come together later.
Yeah.
Which that one I don't know if they're going to solve because they already summed that up in the movie.
Yeah.
But I'm saying the actual build up, because you can tell that in the first hour of the movie you can tell there are bits and pieces that are missing that are very big plot points.
Yeah.
That they're probably going to later elaborate on the longer cut.
I did also have an issue with
and guess what? I was going to tell you this. You know the guy that's at the very beginning with Lois Lane, the one that has the photo, the camera.
Yeah.
Guess who that's supposed to be? That I didn't find out until recently. Jimmy Olsen.
Really?
Yeah, that guy is actually Jimmy Olsen. We didn't even know about it. He wasn't even named in the movie.
Yeah,
he just got killed.
Okay, that's funny. But anyways, the overall perspective of this film, you get. Oh, before we get to that part,
all
right. Since this is a spoil. All right, Wonder Woman. I thought she was perfecly cast for that.
I thought Gal Gadot was good.
Yeah, she's perfect for that role. She nailed it perfect. The outfit was perfect. We're supposed to get more. I'm not going to bitch about her details of her backstory because we're going to get origins of her. So I'm anxious, to wait to see that. But then again, I don't see her she was not really supposed to be the most important person in this film to get go. So can't really bitch about her. But it's cool that she came towards the end, and then we'll get more about her. And Batman and Superman are supposed to get to know who she is because they both look at each other like, "She with you? No."
Yeah.
You? Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I like that she was involved with the final battle.
Yeah.
And it was a cool fight. How she's got the light
I do like that.
And she's got Superman pushing him and everything.
She's beautiful.
It does feel like Batman's left out during that whole fight because he only sprays him with the bullets. I'm sorry, with the spray.
Batman is really... Yeah, I gotta agree with that one. It's like Wonder Woman did the most fighting out of these two.
Yeah.
Really, Superman.
But Superman did fight for the first while, and then Wonder Woman came in.
Yeah, Batman really didn't do
anything.
He just flew around.
He was doing all the goons, fighting all Lex Luthor's men.
Yeah.
I mean, he sprayed him with the kryptonite, but that's about it.
Yeah. But so the girl was really beautiful.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
And another thing we got to talk about. Because people are very mixed on this. I know people that have flat out hated it, and there's probably a few that like it.
What?
The introduction to the cameos that we have for Justice League.
Okay, yeah. You get them in dream sequences, then
the email.
Yeah, then you get the email where they're talking about, hey, there's other people like you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's two
it's
parts.
It feels like everything's being rushed in this film. It's like they're rushing you into this. And this is a film that's been on and off for the last 15 years and been really worked on for the last 4 years. And this movie, even though it's took this longest time, it feels like it's still rushed.
It does.
Tremendously.
It seems like, I like the cameos they have for Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg.
Yeah.
But I feel like they probably... In my mind, I can see the fanboy inside of me loves it, but the other person inside of me thinks, well, they could have had a better explanation besides showing an email, because
that's the thing that this movie
that is
is
something. There's no subtlety.
Yeah,
there is no subtlety. Yeah. It's just obviously given.
It's just thrown out there. Yeah. And then here you go. We're going to try to capitalize on the Justice League thing real quick. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, because all it is Bruce Wayne sends an email to Diana Prince, and she sees it, and she's like, what's this? Scrolls down, and it's just files that happen to be from LexCorp, and it's the members. Yeah. But the weirdest thing is, did you notice that those logos they have are the actual logos of all their famous trademarks? Yeah.
Now here's the thing I got a problem is, again, with Lex Luthor. It's it's so much. He knows so much, but we have no motivation.
No idea
how he knows. Out. Yeah,
it's what is he psychic? Does he know all this stuff at the top of his head?
Yeah, they leave so much out with the biggest villain in the series.
So that's what I want to see. I want to see more of how he knows Superman and Batman, and why exactly he's motivated himself to go after them.
Yeah, honest with you,
and I want to see more about what happened. We might get some more details.
I'm the biggest advocate when it comes to please do not replace an actor for a character, since we've already started the series. I hate replacements, but I probably will want one for Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
Oh my god, dude. Jesse Eisenberg, man, you fucked that. You should never took that role, man. No. It's not you. It's not. You should never been offered the role. It was bad. But other than that, since we're in a spoiler, this is a spoiler, I will be shocked. I will say this, I was shocked Superman died at the end.
Yes, that got me.
Fucking got me. Because you always get the stereotypical where they and then everything's all fine at the end. They want him dead until they find a certain cure to bring him back.
It is, and I like that they had a ceremony for him and everything. Because what threw me off was
you start noticing that the ceremony of his funeral is being prolonged. You're like, damn, is he really fucking dead?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Bro, my only problem with that is, of course, he's got to be in Justice League.
Yeah, so he's going
to live because the little gravel comes up, just like the end of the first movie. Remember when he's about to take off and flying?
But then, what are they going to do? What was the purpose of doing because when he's in the funeral, it's actually going weeks away, and it's he's still dead. It's why did he just decide?
Perhaps we're missing something. Maybe we are supposed to suspend our disbelief.
Did Batman shove something in between the things that here, take this?
Maybe I'm guessing, because you do notice how the camera doesn't really pan on his body when they're having the funeral scene. You don't see his face, so maybe there's something we're not seeing that only the characters know about.
I don't know.
I'm just saying it sets it up kind of cool.
Yeah. But I still thought that was a surprising ending.
It was.
No less.
And I like the ending with Bruce there at the funeral, and he's talking to Diana saying, I want to know the other ones that are like you. Yeah. And so he has to go after, he teams up with her to go find
and she asks why, and he goes, something's coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. He feels it. In fact, I think his dream sequences are the future.
They are. They're basically premonitions that he sees, because he is seeing all this, because remember the message from Flash? Yeah. He was pretty much saying that the key to Lois Lane is that. Well, what was the idea? That's what I kind of wondered. Was what is the purpose of Lois Lane again? Because I don't remember.
She really judged by everybody else.
Well, I know she had the spear, but then again, Superman has it, so it's she doesn't really.
No, everybody. I'm judging by everybody just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Everybody said that Lois Lane is actually literally pointless in this movie. She literally has no point in this movie. Okay. Other than you want to reprise the role to make it feel like it's in canon.
Other than bringing Amy Adams back, that's it.
Yeah, it's in canon. That's all it is. She kept fucking with the game because it's he's almost beating Doomsday's ass, but then he has to stop and save her fucking ass. Yeah. Because she almost drowned.
She almost gets something right, she's carrying that spear. Because I was thinking that she was going to at least, throw it at Doomsday.
I feel like she's a burden in this movie. Yeah. Because her needing to she gets herself in binds, and him having to save her throws him off what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
okay, as far as the good things that I can say, liked. Okay,
I love the cinematography.
I love the cinematography.
Score.
It's well made. The action scenes are really great. Especially the scenes of Batman fighting, and the parts where Superman is like, saving the people, and the
to me, the fighting, the cinematography, the score was good.
Especially Hans Zimmer's music.
Yes.
Oh, another thing I loved
his music.
I loved especially Wonder Woman's theme. That guitar.
Yeah, I like the score. I like cinematography. I thought it was visually.
It's well acted, with the exception of Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah,
I really thought the rest of the cast did pretty good.
Did pretty good,
especially Affleck. Affleck nailed it. He was my favorite part.
He was my favorite part. I loved how they made Batman's voice so menacing
because he actually has a voice synthesizer.
It shakes the theater whenever he speaks, which made me think of the last movie that ever did that was Bane's voice, which was crazy. That's what it makes me think.
Well, let me give you an opinion. Did it kind of throw you off that Batman kills in this movie?
Let's get to that. Batman kills, and he also uses guns is also a big fucking problem.
Well, then again, but at the same time, the gun part he only uses in the dream sequences.
Yeah, but it's like he went to machine guns, kind of throws the Batman character off.
Yeah, but I can back that up because, look, correct me if I'm wrong, fanboys out there, if he has killed anybody in the comic books, comment below. But I'm just going by the movies. Go back to the first two movies with Tim Burton. Those two movies, he clearly killed people. Yeah. So it's not the first time he's killed anybody.
It's not the first time, but anyway.
It's different. Yeah. It doesn't have a problem because, to me, the motivation for him is that he's choosing a good... He's not really a good or bad side. He's kind of like in the middle because he's experienced... He's so experienced out of 20 years, so he doesn't pick a side. So,
anyways, I got to give this film, and it's pretty hard judgment, but I'll just go ahead and give it a ringer right here. I'm going to go ahead and give it maybe a 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
And that's borderline with me because I actually want to give this movie a 5 out of 10. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10. Now discover new things that I did catch in the movie. So I'll go ahead and give it a 6 out of 10. It was, to me, even though 6 out of 10 is not saying it's horrible, I will say I was disappointed. I was disappointed with the overall of... I felt like it was too rushed. I felt like they were lazy with the Batman overall. Batman vs. Superman. It felt like a Batman and Superman movie to me. I felt like Lois Lane was pointless. Lex Luthor is what really knocked the points off here. That dude was horrible. I'm gonna tell you right now, Jesse Eisenberg as a mainstream movie, this is probably his worst performance.
Yeah.
Okay. Like I said, it's gonna be a 6 out of 10 for me, borderline right there.
Fair enough. My rating is 6.5 out of 10. There's some things I probably liked a little bit more than you did, like the whole idea with Superman's motivation, so to speak, and the whole thing going on with Batman and how he's going after Superman.
Yeah.
This. I love the cinematography. I love the direction that they were trying to do. And the reason I put it at 6.5 is because there's still parts of it that I can still say work, but only if I'm really getting into the story more, if it was actually more well written. Now, to be fair, if I was to go based on just an action film alone, I would give it a 7, based on the action scenes alone.
Yeah, and then there's a few other things I did want to bitch about. I thought that there was one part I did have a problem with Wonder Woman. Now I think about it, they kind of portrayed her as Catwoman from Dark Knight Rises, kind of.
Like the scene where she steals at the dance?
Yeah, I felt like that was going on. Like, I was like, oh, man, don't be doing a Catwoman thing here.
Well, I mean, she kind of did that scene.
Though they toned it down. They didn't want to do a whole love thing with them, too, which, thank God.
Yeah, because that would have came out of nowhere and would have ruined the whole build-up to it.
Yeah, it would have.
You know? But overall, I mean, when I watch the longer version, there won't be a re-review of the movie, but I'm just saying... My opinion might have a difference watching the longer version, depending on what it is.
Yeah.
Because I believe that if it is better, maybe it'll probably improve the film. But I don't know yet.
Do you kind of think that us rating it 6 I said 6 out of 10. You say 6.5 out of 10. That's still considered.
It's still middle. It is.
It's a disappointment for a movie like this. That should have been 9 out of 10.
But see, that's the thing. Like, I didn't have much of a disappointment as you did because I knew going into exactly what I was going to get. I had hopes for it, see if there was going to be like any new surprise.
I didn't think this was going to be 100%, but I thought this was going to be like a 90.
No,
I was actually shocked to give it like a 55, 5.5, 6 out of 10.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I knew exactly what I was getting into, so it didn't bother me that I wasn't really. I mean, I was disappointed that they could have been done more, but at the same time, it didn't really get me like you did, where you were expecting such high hopes.
Well, it's the thing. I felt also it was kind of rushed too. I also felt like everything was short lived.
Yeah.
When they thought when I got into something, they short did it. It's like boom, boom, just rushed it through it. It's like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, and then like I said, there was a little. This wasn't too bad, but. Some parts did kind of feel like they dragged a little bit, which I didn't care.
I will say the pacing did kind of throw me off, but it didn't. Yeah. But then again, the pacing worked in.
But it wasn't a big problem.
The pacing worked in some parts, but then didn't work. So it was kind of mixed back and forth. You had more of a problem.
Did you kind of feel like the editing and the drawl of him and that senator woman? Didn't you feel like they kept doing like hashtagging the same thing, like they kept talking to each other?
Pretty
much.
Like,
all right, how many times are you gonna meet up and talk the same shit again?
Pretty much, yeah. They kind of went on with that, but at the same time, there's like I said, there's probably going to be more of her story, possibly more in the longer cut.
Yeah. Well, anyways, I'm 6 out of 10 on this.
I'm 6.5. I would say at least check it out, but I mean. I don't know if I would recommend watching the theaters. I mean, I would still check out Curiosity. I'm not sure. I would say probably
if it gets cheaper,
go ahead and see it when it comes to like a matinee or something.
Yeah, you can go and try it out. Yeah.
Other than that, I mean, that's all I got. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people that hate the film. And that's fine. More power to you. And I have a very split decision. I get why everyone hates the film, and I get why people like it. But overall. I just thought it was okay, and I can't wait for the next one, which will be Suicide Squad.
I can't wait for the next one either. I'm actually anxious to see it.
I am, because I was actually more excited for it than I was with this one.
Yeah. Well, anyways, y'all have a good night, and we'll see you in the next review.
See ya.